I'm Holly Morgan Fry, and I am the Vice President for Student Affairs and the Director of Community Relations at Shepherd University. So the Governor of West Virginia, Jim Justice, has said that he wants every university to test every student, every staff, and every faculty prior to the beginning of the academic year. And so we're following his guidelines on that. The state is going to provide funding for that, so this is going to come at no cost to our students or our staff for this testing. We're going to start testing on Saturday, August the 15th, and we're going to go through August the 19th, which is a Wednesday. The reason we have to stop on that Wednesday is because it does take time to get the lab results back, and so we're hoping to get these results back before the first day of classes, which is the 24th. Any students who live in the Tri-County area, so Jefferson, Berkeley, or Morgan County, the health department is asking that whatever time they might be moving on campus, they do want those students to be tested here at Shepherd on our campus. But for those folks who live far away, it is okay for them to get tested in their home county. We know that some students, some faculty and staff have extenuating circumstances that make it impossible for them to come during the times that we're going to be testing. We have worked it out with the health department that if they follow certain protocol, they are able to get tested in their own home counties. For that to happen, we need the test to be administered between Saturday the 15th and Wednesday the 19th, so it's within the same time frame as everybody else. The test needs to be the same as that of the test that we're doing here, which is a RNA test by PCR, which is just the nasal swab. And they need to complete a form that has been emailed to them, and they can upload their test results. And that way we have verification that they have been tested. We would really prefer to have everybody test here, but it is an inconvenience if you live far away and you are not moving on campus until after the 19th, or a commuter who would happen to not be able to come on campus during that time. We have some students who are on vacation and they're asking if they can test at a different location. I consider that an extenuating circumstance, and we want to work with our students while also complying with what the governor has asked us to do. So we're asking everybody to make a reservation, and that'll be a simple link that we will be sending out again in an email. By making a reservation, we'll know you're coming, and the health department will be more prepared to be prepared for you. And then the test itself, they say it just takes literally a minute. And again, I think it's important for those of us who are anxious about kind of medical tests and invasive tests. This is not the kind that is the really long swab that goes all the way back. It literally just goes right inside both nostrils. So we think it's going to be very quick. And you can stay in your vehicle. You do not have to get out. However, you can also walk up. We're going to be having two areas. So you can drive or you can walk, whichever is easier, whichever you'd rather do. We are planning on 2 to 5 day turnaround time. That's the goal of the lab that we're working with, which is again why we cut off the testing on the 19th, so that we could get those test results back. So the positive test result will immediately go, well, of course it'll be the health department who will know. The health department will let our health center know. The health center here at Shepherd University will reach out to the student, and the health department will start the contact tracing. So that's how that process will work. We are going to ask anybody who does test positive, we're going to ask them to, if they live on the residence or in the residence halls, we'll ask them to isolate, contact their RA. Of course, we will be aware. And then we do have some rooms available for quarantining for our students to stay there. So we have worked so closely with the health department, with the sanitation part of the health department, with National Guard, and they all say that the protocols we put in place will not create the need to completely quarantine a whole wing of students should one person become positive. So we feel pretty good about that. And all of our students, except for the ones who asked for an exception, who really wanted to have a roommate, all of our students have single rooms. So we feel pretty confident in our plan to be able to take the student who has been tested positive and quarantine. Of course, their first option is to go home. But if they can't, then we have a location for them to quarantine. We have a method and a process where we will be able to bring them food. We have a process in place where we can grab their things and get it to them in this quarantine location. So what we would do is if that person had a roommate, they would be isolated for about 14 days. While we need everybody to be tested between the 15th and the 19th, not everybody is going to get their test results back by the 24th. So we are not going to keep somebody from going to class if they don't have their results. We can keep them from going to class if they have not even taken the test. So that is the mandate that we have. You have to have been tested before you can go to class. And so that's the effort that we're doing right now. We're hoping that by this conversation, a lot of the questions have been answered. Certainly we're available to take calls or emails if there are other questions that parents or students have. We really are working very hard to make this be a simple process. We're trying to alleviate nerves and concerns. Because this is a unique and very different time for higher education. So what we've been telling everybody for weeks is that no matter what the fall may bring, Shepherd University is going to be providing educational instruction, and we want our students to be ready to go.